بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome back, my dear students, in today's English lesson. What are we going to do in this lesson? Let's take a look. So today's lesson is going to be about the project of Unit 5. Is there any ice cream? Now let's take a look. But before we start with this lesson, let's take a look at the previous homework. What were you asked to do and what did you do about it? Let's take a look. So you were asked to write about the food at a great restaurant in your town. What kind of restaurant is it? And what kind of food is on the menu? And what do you order at the restaurant? So here you can choose any restaurant you like. You can answer these questions to write a paragraph about this great restaurant that you like. Now, I will show you an example here of a special restaurant. So, here the title is A Great Restaurant. Now, let's take a look at the paragraph and let's see the answers of these questions. There is a great Chinese restaurant in my town. All my friends go there. They have Chinese food on the menu. There is fried rice, there are egg rolls, and there is chicken chow mein too. I always order 2 egg rolls and a plate of fried rice and chow mein. I also usually order a cup of hot tea. The food is great. Now, did you take a look at this example? So, what kind of food is in the restaurant? It's Chinese food. Now, is Chinese food an ethnic food or an international food? Chinese food is ethnic food, and these things on the menu, it's called ethnic food. It is not international. So here, what they like to order are these. There are egg rolls and the fried rice. These are examples of the things that they have on the menu. Now, so at the last sentence, I also usually order a cup of hot tea. Now, in this menu, we saw an appetizer, which is the egg rolls, the chicken, which is the main course, and what comes with it, or what is another thing that comes in the menu? The fried rice. So all of these are different food on the menu. And what about beverages? Is there any beverages here in the text? A cup of hot tea. So it's a popular drink in China. So remember in the reading lesson when we talked about the special brands in there and the globalization and food? So it is very popular in China to have tea. But do you remember the coffee shops that were there? They had a large number of coffee shops there. But these are ethnic food and very popular in this restaurant. Now, let's take a look. What are we going to do in this lesson? We are done with all of these parts. Today's lesson is going to be about the project. So, what is going to be? So, we want to apply everything we learned here in this project. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to write a menu and you will be able to form sentences to order different international food. So in this unit, we talked about different kinds of food. Now, are we going to be able to write a menu? Well, in this lesson, we are going to be able to write it, and we're going to form sentences to order these international food. Now, let's take a look here. So, let's take a look at this picture. What can you see in the picture? And what can you see in this menu? So this is a menu from a restaurant. So now, what are some of the things that you can see in the menu? You can see the name of the dishes and sometimes a description of the dishes and the quantity of the dishes. Now, do you remember when I show you the Sarah's Kitchen menu? There were ethnic food like the steak, Argentina style, and the fish, Japanese style. These are ethnic food, right? And there's a description of this ethnic food. Now, how about the salad? So one of the things, it was a mixed salad. What were the ingredients that were in this salad? So there was tomato, cucumber, lettuce, and carrots. All of these vegetables were included in the salad. Now, how about the beverages? Do you remember next to the beverages, we saw the words of the quantity. So, for example, in the beverages, we saw coffee. But how much coffee are they going to serve? So next to the word coffee, we had the word cup. That means when you order the coffee, you will have a cup of coffee. And how about the water? So if you're ordering the water, you will have a bottle of water. Now let's take a look here. For today's project, what are you going to do? You are going to make a typical menu from your country. Include food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now let's take a look at this example. So this is an example of a menu from a country. So I want you to try to make the menu from your country. So many countries, that means you will have many foods, right? So you will have different kinds of menus. You will have ethnic food on these menus. So because here it says typical menu from your country. It's not international food, it's going to be ethnic food. Now let's take a look. Here I have this menu of the Saudi Arabian restaurant. Now let's take a look at the options you have here for breakfast. For breakfast, you have scrambled eggs with tomato. This is an option, but what is another option? Brown bread with honey and ghee. So this is an ethnic food. You can have it as breakfast. Great option for breakfast. Now, let's take a look at the options that you will have for lunch. What can you have for lunch? You can have rice and meat, Arabian style. So rice and meat, Arabian style. This is ethnic food. It's not international. It is from a certain country. Now, and you can have the other option is vegetable stew. Vegetable stew is also another option for lunch. How about dinner? Let's take a look at the options here. Meat stock with porridge, and you can have vegetable stock with dough. So all of these are options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, after looking at this menu, how are you going to order? If you want to order, what are the questions that you're going to use, and what kind of answers do you want? So you're choosing from the menu your preferences. If you want to choose your preferences, that means you will have to say, I would like to have, and you can say your choice. Or the waiter might ask you, what would you like? What would you like? That means the waiter is asking about a specific thing from the menu. Now, let's take a look at this example here. It's a conversation between the waiter and the customer for ordering from this menu. Let's take a look and listen.
What would you like to have?
I would like to have scrambled eggs with tomato. Does it come with bread?
Yes, ma'am. It comes with 3 pieces of bread. Would you like to have some tea with your breakfast?
Yes, please.
After listening to this conversation between the waiter and the customer, the first question the waiter asked, what would you like to have? That means a specific thing from this menu. What did the customer reply? How did this customer reply? I would like. This is the customer's preferences. I would like to have scrambled eggs. So this is the choice from the customer's choice from this menu. Now, the customer wanted more details. So the customer said, does it come with bread, or do I have to order the bread separately? So, does it come with bread? The customer is asking for more details about this dish. Now, the waiter said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, is this customer's name is ma'am? No, we don't know the customer's name, but ma'am is the polite way to address the strangers here. the customer is a stranger. So from the word ma'am, looks like the customer is an older woman. That's why we're addressing this customer as ma'am. But what if the customer is a man? Are we going to use the word ma'am? We can't use the word ma'am. We're going to use the word sir. We're addressing this customer with the word sir. But how about if this is a young lady? So what are we going to use? We can use the word miss. And this is the polite way to address them. Now, it comes with 3 pieces of bread. Would you like to have some tea? Would you like to have some tea? What kind of question is this? It's an offer. The waiter is offering tea for the customer. Would you like to have some tea? What did the customer say? Yes, please. So also here in the answer, please, it's the polite way to reply to the waiter's offer. Now, let's take a look at the next part here from the same conversation between the customer and the waiter. Now, let's take a look. So, looks like the customer ordered the eggs with tomato, right? Take a look at the picture here. This is how this dish looks like. Now, let's take a look at this conversation, and we want to know more details and more things about this conversation between the waiter and the customer.
Excuse me, I like the scrambled eggs. How did the chef make it?
Thank you, ma'am. This is the most popular breakfast in this restaurant. First, we mix the egg with salt and pepper. Then we melt the butter on a pan. After that, we fry the tomato. Then we add the egg mixture to the tomato until it cooks. Finally, we serve it to customers with bread.
Now, what did the customer say about this dish? Looks like the customer liked this dish, right? Because the customer actually told the waiter, I like this dish. So after that, the customer asked for the recipe. Do you remember in the writing lesson when we did write some recipes, the ingredients and the directions of creating this recipe, right? Now, actually here the customer liked the recipe. They wanted more information into how can we make this recipe. So what did the waiter say here? Thank you, ma'am. So thank you for liking this dish. Now here, the waiter also said, this is the most popular breakfast in this restaurant. So this is a detail about this dish. It's a popular in this restaurant. So that means a lot of people like this dish. Now here, the waiter listed the steps to make this recipe. Now, I want you to take a look at these words. First, then, after that, then, until, and finally. So, did you see the sequence of these steps? So, we're starting with first, and we're ending these steps with the word finally. Now, here it says, first we mix the egg, then we are going to go for the next step, which is what is the next step? We melt the butter on the pan, and after that we fry the tomato and go on, and the steps are in this sequence. So there's the steps, one step and then the next step. Now, but here we have the word until. What do we call this word? It's a time word. It's not a word of frequency like first, next, then. It's a time word. That means here we add the egg mixture to the tomato until it cooks. So we're going to do this step until we see the difference here when the tomato cooks. So this is the time word. And finally here, we serve it to the customers with bread. Now, do you remember how many pieces of bread? 3 pieces of bread. This is also a detail about this recipe. Now, let's take a look at this menu. So, it's a different menu, right? Now, let's take a look. From which country is this menu, and how can you order from this menu? So, this is a different kind of menu. So, take a look at this part here. Looks like it's a menu of a pizzeria. What is the meaning of pizzeria? A pizzeria, it's a restaurant that sells pizza. Now here we have breakfast. For breakfast we have all these kinds of pizza. And for lunch and dinner there are also kinds of pizza, but it's different from the ones for breakfast. But here there's something special. For lunch you're going to pick the size of the pizza, and then you're going to pick the crust of the pizza. Do you want a thin crust, a thick crust? You can choose your preferences. And you can pick your cheese. Here we have 3 kinds of cheese. You can choose mozzarella, ricotta, or parmesan. These are kinds of cheese. Which one do you prefer, so you can put in your order? And then you're going to pick your protein. So you can choose beef, pepperoni, chicken, or choose your preference to add it to your cheese. And then pick your vegetables. You can have many kinds of vegetables in your pizza. But in the lunch and the dinner pizza, you can customize your pizza, or you can choose the things you prefer in your pizza. Now, let's take a look here. Since we did talk about the pizza, I want you to read this text so we can answer questions about pizza and pizzerias. Let's take a look here. Pizza is a popular food. It comes from Italy. The pizza capital of the world is Naples, Italy. The world's first pizza restaurant is still there. It goes back to 1830. The classic pizza of today goes back to the 1880. Its creator was Raphael Esposito. This pizza has the same colors as the Italian flag. The Italian flag is red, white, and green. Pizza has a red tomato, white mozzarella cheese, and a green herb called basil. As you can see here, there's a picture of the Italian flag and an example of this pizza. The special pizza here, the special pizza in Italy. Can you see the similars in the colors of the flag and the pizza? There are many different kinds of pizza today. We can order chicken pizza, vegetable pizza, seafood pizza, pineapple pizza, potato pizza. Some pizzas are thick and some pizzas are thin. Some pizzas have tomatoes and some don't. Most pizzas are round, but some aren't. There's just about any kind of pizza you want. People all over the world like to eat pizza. How about you? What kind of pizza do you eat? So at the end of this text, there are 2 questions. How about you? So what do you prefer? So if you want to order the pizza, what would you prefer? What are the things that you would like to have in your pizza? So what kind of pizza do you eat? Some people might say vegetable pizza, some people might say cheese pizza, and some people might say pineapple pizza. So all of these are kinds of pizza. And the special things about pizza is you can customize it the way you like or as your preferences. Now, let's answer these questions about this text. So the first question, where is the world's first pizza restaurant? So another word for pizza restaurant is pizzeria. So where is the world's first pizzeria? From the text, what is the answer? The world's first pizza restaurant is in Naples, Italy. So this is the name of the city and this is the name of the country. So we have the name of the city, comma, and the name of the country, which is Naples, Italy. Now, let's take a look at the next question. What are the colors of the Italian flags? The Italian flag. So I did show you a picture of the Italian flag and I did show you a picture of the pizza with the same colors. So, what are these 3 colors? The colors of the Italian flag are red, white, and green. Now, the next question we have here, what part of the pizza is white? Now, here in the question, in this question, what part of the pizza is white? So we mentioned 3 colors of the Italian flag, which is red, white, and green. So on the pizza, what part of the pizza is white? So is it the basil, the herb, or is it the tomato, or is it the cheese? So the answer is the cheese. The cheese is the white part of the pizza. How about the red part? The red part is the tomato. Now, let's take a look at the next question. What kind of pizza do you like? So here you can have different answers. So your answer is going to be different than your friend's answer, than your other friend's answer. So here I want you to write your preference. So here I did write an example. I like vegetable pizza. So here this is could be a possible answer. Some people might say a different answer. It's also going to be correct. Now, what did we do in today's lesson? We did write a menu and we did form sentences to order different international food. Now, for your homework, what are you going to do? For your homework, you will write a recipe you like, including ingredients and directions. Now, if you're including the ingredients, don't forget the quantity of the ingredients. Now, the part of the directions, I want you to use the sequence, the words of sequency or time words. And we are going to check the answers together in the next lesson. Thank you, my dear students.